Hello po, magandang araw po sa inyo ulit at thank you po sa mga umaantabay sa ating mga videos. I really do appreciate it and hopefully I'll get justice on every topic, on every issues that is coming up. Napakadami pong mga topic na pwede natin pag-usapan ngayon and I'm trying my best to keep up with the new updates sa mga balita ngayon. First, if you haven't, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And ngayon, pag-uusapan po natin, ano daw po yung naging epekto po ng speech ni Senator Amy Marcos doon po sa Iglesia ni Cristo rally, na kung saan po marami po tayong iba't iba opinyon at reaksyon sa ating mga political analysts. At pag-usapan po natin, ito ba ay isa sa mga bagay na makaapekto sa gobyerno, kay Pangulong Marcos, o sa sabihin na nating mga ambisyon, personal na ambisyon ni Senator Amy Marcos sa politika in the future? So mag-start muna tayo. Pag-usapan natin, isa sa mga kilalang political analyst, Attorney Jess Falces, isa po siyang public interest lawyer and political analyst. Sinabi niya po dito sa isang interview na meron po siyang report na kung saan po ay si former attorney Larry Gadon po ay magsasalita at may pasabog daw po na may lalabas daw po siyang statement about sa di umano bagman daw po ng nooy dating governor na ngayon po ay Senator Amy Marcos. And sa mga Tweety Bird niya po na naririnig niya, marami daw po siyang mga naririnig na sinimulan na po ng gobyerno ang investigasyon. But for now, it's on the initial process and it will take time to build up yung proseso ng investigation and also to before they put it out in public. Yun lang po yung update niya about doon. And then also, he said, doon daw po sa Iglesia ni Cristo rally, bago daw po nung rally, meron daw pong iilang mga grupo na nagtatry mag-exploit dito po sa Iglesia ni Cristo rally. And we all know that the Iglesia ni Cristo rally has the capacity to build people. Sometimes it builds momentum, pero pagdating sa pagkalap nila ng mga tao sa kanilang grupo, they can mostly deliver the numbers for people. Kaso nga lang, as we all know, he said that the conclusion of the rally sa Iglesia ni Cristo is first, walang regime change, wala ring military junta, at hindi naman din po dumami yung mass protest. And alam naman natin that one of the main factors to build a people power coalition is that we need to have warm bodies. Ibig sabihin yung mga tao talagang they really wanted to go further to do the protest, pero wala po tayong nakitang build up for that. And then meron daw po mga reports na kanyang narinig na 3 to 5 days ago, before the rally daw po, that the DDS supporters allegedly, yung mga vloggers daw po, nagpo-post na po ng mga pictures and videos online, spreading the news na magiging presidente na daw po si VP Sara. There was a big push from the DDS side of vloggers. Ako po personally, meron ako mga nakita sa aking mga mga feed, especially sa Facebook po, napakaraming mga AI, mga pictures that was edited, and there were calling that VP Sara will be, quote unquote, the next president for some reason. And then sinabi niya rin po dito na September 21 rally, meron daw po mga verified report that meron daw pong clear intelligence and clear reports that coming from Manny Mogato. Kung kilala niyo po yon, isa po siyang Pulitzer Prize winner na natatanging Filipino reporter sa Pilipinas na nagkaroon ng ganong prestigyosong prize Okay? And meron po siya mga intelligence na merong ouster movement. To some reason, there were no defined na sinabi niya sa isang post niya kung sino yon. Pero he have a clear evidence coming from the intelligence community na meron po talagang ouster movement. And guys, remember this. Ang tinitignan ng gobyerno natin is not just the rally. Ang tinitignan ng gobyerno din natin yung messaging. Kasi remember, mahirap kasi na kapag ang messaging mo is to ask PBBM to resign, dahil maraming insinuation that when you ask the sitting president to resign, there are insinuation na do we need to use the armed group? Do we need to create chaos? And that's one of the things that the government is observing right now. And ako po, naniniwala ako na there is a verified and claimed reports. Hindi lang po kay Sir Manny Mogato, hindi lang kay Attorney Felcis. Tinitingnan ko rin po yung mga trend ngayon ng mga political analysts, and they are saying that there is, even before the Iglesia ni Cristo rally na nangyari po this week. And also sinabi niya rin dito, because of this ouster movement, they are trying to trigger para daw po dumami yung mga tao. And they said that dalawa daw po sa mga barahang inilabas nila before and during the rally for the November 16 to 18 rally is that the Saldico videos and the Amy Marcos speech. Pero we know the result. It didn't push much of the sentiment of the public. So they failed on that aspect. So, and also another thing na napapansin po natin, and it was placed on public, that Iglesia ni Cristo were trying to avoid any political sentiment coming from the DDS side, na di ba po may mga report na hindi sila pinapasok doon sa INC rally, and they're trying to focus more on the transparency instead of ousting Pangulong Marcos. So that's another failed tactic, I would say, from the supporters of the DDS, or from the people that have a agenda of ousting the president. Another question po, tinanong siya kung if the Iglesia ni Cristo know Senator Amy's speech. Sabi niya po dito, it's 50-50. No, kasi ang pinupfront po ng INC is a religious group, and they're only calling for transparency and accountability. And nakita po natin kung paano nila, I would say, tinaboy yung mga DDS supporter para humalo sa INC rally. Yes, kasi nakita natin na on the rally nakapasok at nakapagsalita si Senator Marcoleta. We all know that he is very anti-Marcos, and he has a lot of sentiments against the government. And also, nung umakyat din po si Senator Amy, and meron din po siyang another angle na sinasabi na maaring alam ng INC, kasi po kahit daw po sa kahit anong rally, we all know if the speaker is talking about different aspect of which hindi po align doon sa rally na kung saan po siya ay nagsasalita, most definitely makikita natin may isa o dalawang taong kakausap doon sa speaker, patatapusin siya ng maaga, or i-mute yung mic niya. And nakita natin that Senator Amy Marcos was talking the whole time. Tapos nakita natin na may papel po siyang binabasa, and it was like played and televised to the public. So parang nandun yung angulo na maaring alam nila at maaring hinayaan nila kasi siguro that's what the real sentiment of INC doing that rally. Pero sabi nga, this is another angle na tinitingnan natin. We cannot confirm or this perception about it, but you know, sometimes everything in politics is perception. So kung ano nakikita natin, we sometimes can add more stories out of it. Okay, tinanong din po siya anong tingin niya about reasons why na-cancelled yung third day of INC rally. One, may mga clear reports na naririnig po siya inside that armed group or forces are ready to initiate or engage sa third day of INC rally, na sila po ay maaaring sumali o humalubilo sa Iglesia ni Cristo rally. Second, ayaw po ng INC take advantage sila ng mga DDS o yung mga Marcos ouster movement. Third, kung makikita natin that on the third day, kinancel po ng gobyerno yung permit ng United People's Initiative headed by former General Pokis, dahil daw po sa threat ng armed group on their third day. So we see some connection about what's going on. We cannot confirm, pero po naniniwala ako personally na that there is a big intelligence with regards to that third day na maaring magkaroon ng bloodshed or magkaroon na sumali yung mga armed group. Kasi nakikita natin, what is the objective of this rally or this political initiatives, diba, ng iba't ibang grupo? Alam naman natin na majority of them, they want an ouster. They want PBBM to really move out of his presidency and unfortunately to crown Vice President Sara. So I think kung hindi nila nakuha first day, second day yon, then they'll go to the third day, which the armed group is coming, and that's scary kasi wala pong, di ba, wala namang gustong may masaktan o mamatay dahil lang sa rally, di ba? Another question, tinanong siya, is there a present danger for Pangulong Marcos? Sabi niya dito, yes, there is a high present danger for the president due to all the officials na involved dito sa flood control project, sa insertion funds sa DPWH, and that's why hindi pa pwede maging complacent ang gobyerno up until, you know, our president ma-initiate na ng president yung mga kaso through the ombudsman and Sandigan Bayan na makasuhan at maaresto itong mga tao na ito. And alam naman po natin that there is a significant shake up pagdating sa, sabihin na natin na yung mga taong involved dito sa mga issue na to, na they are trying to do everything para hindi sila makasuhan o maaresto. And I think that's one of the reason why bakit tayong lahat nagtataka tayo, all of these rallies mula noon hanggang ngayon, bakit hindi sila naubusan ng pondo? Saan ang gagaling yung pondo nila? Paano sila nakakapag-initiate ng rally every time? 'Di ba? Kasi alam natin, kahit naman siguro sa Iglesia ni Cristo, I personally talked to a relative of mine na active sa Iglesia ni Cristo, and he said that there is money involved. May bayaran po talaga if you want to go to rally. Pero just for personal preference, ayaw niya po sabihin kung ano yun. Basta ang sabi lang po in general, meron talagang bayaran. And I think yun yung parang question ko, na kung may bayaran, sino nagpopondo, 'di ba? And sinabi niya rin dito that we all need to know that the people is mad about the issue, the scandal, pero hindi sila wala silang issue kay President Marcos. And I think that's another thing na masasabi mong safe si Pangulong Marcos sa ganitong issue, but we don't know how long this will last. Kasi alam natin sa politics, parang every second na lang may nangyayaring bago. Kala natin kanina okay, tapos after noon time iba na naman ang issue, hanggang sa nagpapalit siya every time. So that's a nice observation, to be honest with you. Latest daw po, sabi niya dito, maaring merong makakasuhan na 3 to 4 senators na senators ng Sandigan Bayan with a non-bailable arrest between the dates of November 25 and December 15 approximately. And also sinabi niya rin po na meron pong mas malaki at mas matindi ang impluwensya at nagawa nitong kongresista na to kesa kay Saldico. At sabi niya po, with the name of Representative Edwin Gadiola, in terms of galawan daw po tsaka influence sa Kamara. So I don't know much about it, pero ang sabi niya po is isa daw po yung tao na yan pagkatas kay Saldico ang sinimula na pong imbestigahan ng ombudsman, I think a week or 2 weeks ago, because of this situation. Nakakapanabik kasi kapag meron na namang naimbestigahan na bago, for sure meron na namang series of people na may involved. And honestly, ako personally, I would rather know this ahead of time para kung sino yung mga malalaking tao, mga big fish or high profile, malalaman na natin, di ba? Kasi kahit po ako, I never even thought Grace po, Angara, Binay, di ba? Kasi yung I would say tatlong senador na talagang never in my mind na magiging corrupt or mas dadawit sa ganitong issue, even if it's alleged. Parang nagulat ako. And honestly, I prefer na malaman yung katotohanan sa mga alleged na to para at least, bilang botante, kampante ka kung kung yung alleged ba ay totoo o hindi, 'di ba? So 'yun. And dako naman tayo kay Professor Antonio Contreras, isa po siyang political analyst. Nagkaroon din po siya ng interview about the situation of the speech of Amy Marcos. Sabi niya po dito, in the culture of Filipino, pwede tayo mag-away in a family pero hindi natin ito pwedeng i-share sa public. Honestly po, we can see most of the public sentiment po after Amy Marcos speech is geared towards the president. Why? Kasi yung mga tao mas naawa eh. Alam natin that the victim card is more powerful than any kind of strategy that you will even do in politics. Bakit? Kasi pag ikaw yung victim, ano ba kalimitang ginagawa ng tao? They feel this emotion. They feel this connection. Na kapag ikaw yung nagiging biktima, ikaw yung tinatapakan, ikaw yung minamaliit, nakikita nila yung parang kumbaga parang inferiority complex doon sa biktima na this victim is crying out loud and asking for support. And I think that is what is going on after Amy Marcos speech. And then sinabi niya rin po dito, remember last election, napag-usapan na yan, yung about po sa issue ng pagdadrugs ng ni Pangulong Marcos nung election. Pero si Senator Amy Marcos pa rin, pero binoto pa rin siya ng tao. And nagtataka lang si Professor, bakit noong election, she knowing everything that she said from her speech, sinuportahan pa rin niya. Tapos ngayon, she's crying out loud, asking for support from the people. It doesn't make any sense. 'Di ba? Kumbaga, kung ito na naman yung isa pang putik na binato na. Kahit ako po, supporter po ako. Ako, personally, I was also against then candidate Bongbong Marcos, na may issue ako sa kanya about sa drugs kasi talagang malaking issue sa akin yun, yung pagdadrugs niya. Pero napatunayan na hindi naman pala totoo dahil nga 'di ba nagkaroon siya ng hair follicle test from St. Luke's at napatunayan namang hindi. So parang sa akin at that time, syempre I'm gearing towards Isko. Parang nag-focus ako mostly doon sa result. So I accept the fact na yun yung resulta. Pero para ibato na naman ulit yung same putik ngayon, parang nakakapagod na. 'Di ba? Parang minsan tatanungin mo na lang, paulit-ulit, yun na naman yung issue. 'Di ba? Wala na bang bago? And then also, sinabi niya rin dito, noong daw po 2016, nagkaroon po ng parang pag-uusap si Senator Amy Marcos at si former President Duterte about dito sa mga drug list. At pinakiusapan niya daw po si former President Duterte na kung pwede daw po i-focus daw muna yung atensyon ng drug list sa pusher kesa daw po sa mga user. So para lumalagay daw po sa ganitong instant, kung alam mo pala yung kapatid mo, isang sabihin na nating drug user, tapos kinausap mo yung former president about sa drug list, lumalagay ba na kapag sa usaping drug war, yung po bang drug list ay negotiable? Depende kung close ka ng presidente. Kung ito po ay totoo, I personally cannot verify this. Ito lang po ay sinabi ni Professor Contreras. Pero kung makikita nyo po, lumalagay na parang ang drug list ay negotiable, depende kung close ka ng Pangulo. Which is, I would say, very unfair kung makikita natin, and sana hindi totoo. Pero yun po yung sinabi ni Professor Contreras. And then, sunod po, sabi niya din dito, lumalagay na parang kung saan lang convenient kay Senator Amy yung politika, doon lang po siya umaayon. And ano yan yung parang, sabi nga ni Banat by before, paro-paro G, kung saan okay, doon siya. Parang ganun yung nangyayari. Kahit na ang katumbas nito ay yung personal tie mo from your bloodline, tulad ng sa ganitong issue yung kapatid mo. And he also said na she just damaged herself. Not the president, but herself. And I think she damaged herself too politically. I don't know if loyalista or anti-PBBM, they will forget this situation after few years or by next election. I don't know. Pero I think that this is the biggest blow for Senator Amy Marcos' political career. I don't know if she can repair it right away. Pero ako personally bilang botante, na naawa ako kay Pangulong Marcos at naaasiwa ako sa ginawa ng kapatid niya. As I said, culture of Filipinos were so tight-knit to each other, and ang ating pananaw sa pamilya, kahit may away ka sa loob, hindi mo sinishare yan in public. And also, sinabi niya rin dito na hindi rin daw po magandang optics yon sa Iglesia ni Cristo. Kasi if you're calling for a specific focused on your rally, mahaluan ka ng ganitong atake na ito sensitibo to, syempre it's a family matter, bangayan nila, magkakapatid, hindi po magandang optics ika nga, and messaging from the Iglesia ni Cristo. And I believe kasi kung makikita mo talagang matindi yung naging epekto nung speech ni Senator Amy Marcos, na dumating sa point na hindi na nga natin tinatanong kung ano yung rally na yun all about. Ang pinag-uusapan na lang natin speech ni Senator Amy Marcos, which is, I would say, it overshadowed the objective of the rally ng Iglesia ni Cristo. Another question na tinanong sa kanya, ano daw po ang magiging sentimiento sa tingin niya ng mga tao sa norte. Ang sabi niya po dito, he feel that the people from the north para pong makikita na siya ay hindi na credible na tao, and also hindi na rin siya centered on the family culture ng Filipino. Wala na siya dun sa value like type thing. Kumbaga sa morality, parang hindi na siya nasasaklaw doon. So I think that's another variable na tinitingnan siguro ng mga Pilipino sa norte, and that's one of his opinion. And then another political analyst sa pag-uusapan natin, si Clive Arguelles, isa pong political analyst. Sabi niya po dito, from the speech of Senator Amy, nakita niya in political views, si Senator Amy ay parang namamangka sa dalawang ilog. Depende kung saan siya okay at that time. Alam po natin, in the last election, 23% ng boto daw po ang nakuha niya, which is less than doon sa last 2019 election, which is 10 points less from the previous election na nakuha niyang boto. And another question na gusto niyang alamin is that tanggap na ba talaga si Senator Amy ng mga DDS? And second, is this another strategy for her to secure a political seat in the next election? And also, gusto niya ding malaman, ito bang speech na to ay isa sa quote-unquote audition sa mga DDS o sa mga Duterte para maging, running mate ni Sara Duterte in the next election, possibly to be the vice president, and president would be Sara Duterte. So hindi pa natin alam kasi marami pa rin mga puwersa sa loob ng DDS na nagsasabi na they don't prefer Senator Amy Marcos as the running mate ni Sara Duterte. Kumbaga hati hati yung mga opinion ng mga DDS about this. So I don't know much about ano yung magiging opinion ng mga DDS, pero I would say nakakapanabik para sa akin malaman ko ano yung magiging opinion ng mga DDS dito. Then sunod tayo sa isang interview kay Dr. Carlita Carlos. Dati po siyang National Security Advisor at isang political analyst po na seated under President Bongbong Marcos, I think first year. Sabi niya po dito, she is a constitutionalist. Kung gusto ng tao na tanggalin ang Pangulo kesa mag-rally, go do the impeachment trial. Which is, for me, that's the common sense idea. 'Di ba? Kung gusto mong patalsikin ng isang Pangulo na hinalal ng almost more than half of the population of the Philippines, the best way is to impeach kung ayaw nyo talaga. Then makikita natin kung nandun talaga yung sentimiento, 'di ba, ng tao para pababain ng Pangulo. And sabi niya dito, assume na natin na bumaba si Pangulong Marcos. Is Sara Duterte able to fight off yung mga problema na kinakaharap ngayon ni Pangulong Marcos? Kasi sinasabi niya dito, hindi biro ang magpatakbo ng bansa. And second, wala naman tayong guarantee that when Sara Duterte will become the president, she can manage to solve the problem at walang mga rally katulad nito na ginagawa kay Pangulong Marcos para siya'y bumaba. Sabi niya din dito, on her own experience, sobra daw pong bait ni Pangulong Marcos, kaya sabi niya parang dapat daw po magkaroon ng pangil ang Pangulo. At nakikita niya na hindi niya po nakita yung resemblance ng epekto ng isang taong nagda-drugs or addict sa drug. Based on her experience sa pagtatrabaho, there are times daw po na sabi niya na mahaba yung panahon ng Pangulo to do some cabinet meeting, and sometimes daw po it takes hours para daw po matapos yung mga meeting nila. And alam niya na kung ang isang tao ay addict, based on her experience, kasi may relative daw po siya or kakilala na addict, makikita niya that sentence construction is one of the difficult things na hindi ma-achieve ng isang drug addict. And then ano naman po yung opinion niya about sa ang United People's Initiative or UPI na headed by General Pokis po ay foreign funded as for the statement of Rear Admiral Trinidad. Sabi daw po funded daw po ng China. Ang punto niya dito, whatever funding any kind of movement, the question is, do we still believe on the initiative of people? Naniniwala pa ba tayo na ang Pilipino ay may karapatan magsalita, may inisyatibo para magkilos protesta kung anong gusto nila? And she don't believe that even funding outside the government, outside the Philippines for this mass movement is enough to push the people's sentiment. Meron din pong kung makikita nyo po, may isang post po na inilabas o i-share po si Ramon Tulfo about po sa yung mga officers na nakausap niya, active officers sa AFP, about po sa opinion nila pagdating po kay VP Sara Duterte. At parang sinasabi nga nila na si VP Sara po ay kuku or baliw. Alam niyo po ang sabi po ni Dr. Carlos dito, and I agree to her opinion na dapat ang AFP daw po hindi na gumawa ng mga statement about their personal opinion, kasi daw po ang mandato ng militar o ng AFP ay para proteksyonan ang soberenya ng Pilipinas, hindi po para magmedel o makialam sa politika ng Pilipinas. And I firmly believe that. And ako po, naniniwala ako na nobody in armed forces, even PNP, basta po anything that is serving to protect the country should not say anything political, kasi it does not make any sense. Kahit ano pang sabihin mo, you should serve under the auspice of the Constitution, and you should serve under the sitting commander-in-chief. So yung mga ganitong comment, it's nonsense for me. At tingin ko, this is too much for a active person. Kung ako lang po ang matatanong, dapat yung mga ganito, fina-fire sa posisyon. Kasi they don't have the right to say anything about the politics. Even if like I personally don't like VP Sara na maging presidente, that's my personal opinion. Pero pag kami nagsalitang militar or police na ganon, I feel like they should resign. Kasi para lumalagay, they are serving only to their own vested interest instead of the interest of the country na kanilang sineserve. Sabi niya po dito, kung ang tao, kasi parang papalit-palit na lang, every time na may uupong presidente, sabi niya, paulit-ulit na lang po na laging merong ouster movement, may mga rallying ganito. Sabi niya, instead of replacing the people sitting right now in the government, why not replace the institution? Sabi niya dito is that kapag kasi ang focus mo is changing the institution through CONAS, CONCON, CHACHA, diba? Napapalitan mo yung system of government para nakikita natin na talaga may pagbabago. Yung muka, kahit na maupo si Sara Duterte, it's just the same thing, same problem. Hindi natin alam, after few months, meron na namang ouster movement, hindi na humatapos. Hindi tayo makarecover as a country. Paulit-ulit na lang. And alam natin, there's many reports that people who come to this rally, most of them bayaran o binabayaran, 'di ba? So, napakahirap Kumbaga, parang lumalagay na lang, lagi na lang inuuto ang taong bayan sa mga ganitong rally. Knowing naman na lahat yan bayaran. Yung mga ganong sentiment ba? So, ang gusto niya, palitan ng institution para magbago ang behavior ng tao instead of the person involved. May suggestion nga siya, sabi niya, kung pwede daw po sa new election, sa next election ng 2028, meron daw po sanang box sa baba ng balota na tatanungin doon, gusto nyo ba magkaroon ng constitutional convention or chacha? Tapos isang box lang yan, yes or no. Ako gusto ko yun. Kasi, you're asking the people. You're not asking yung mga lawmaker. You're not asking the president. You're asking the people. Kasi para sa akin, kahit si Pangulong Marcos, Pangulong Duterte, he tried to change the style of government but it didn't work. Kasi wala nga ganun suporta pagdating sa lawmaker. And I think, if people were asked and we have a consensus on about this issue, makikita natin there's a move from the people itself, and I think mas madaling i-push to kapag nakita natin that people want to have this change. Tapos ang pinakahuling advice niya sa lahat ng tao is that let's support the president. Yes, you might not like all the things the president would do as the commander-in-chief, pero at the end, he represent the country. Pagka po siya bumagsak, hindi naman po babagsak lang yung siya as the president, babagsak po ang ating bansa. Maraming mga foreign investors ang maaring mag-shy away sa country to invest, to get more work, 'di ba, on our country, and to get more money in our country. 'Di ba, pagka bumagsak ang gobyerno. So sabi niya, let's support the president. Hayaan natin siya tapusin yung mga investigasyon. Hayaan natin matapos ang kanyang termino. And then let's elect another president for the next election. 'Di ba? Yun yung honestly, isa yun sa magandang opinion ni Dr. Carlita Carlos para sa akin, kasi wala namang pun tama o mali sa ganitong issue. Even the rallies na against sa gobyerno, tama sila in a way because they're expressing their sentiments sa gobyerno. Pero para sa akin, nagkaroon na tayo ng democratic election. Binoto na halos karamihan na, majority of the Filipino people voted for Marcos para maging presidente siya. Ano ba naman na patapos na natin sa kanya yung termino niya, and then let's find another. Kasi hindi ho natatapos And ang masakit pa dyan sa politics, kapag kami nagrally, most definitely, this is all tied up to people's vested interest. Kung ano ang gusto nung may pera, ano ang gusto nung ma-influensyang tao. 'Di ba? Yun yung parang pinupush na agenda, which is unfair to everyone. Okay? So, yun po. Maraming salamat po kung nagstay po kayo para matapos ng video na to. I really appreciate it. Kung hindi po kayo kasali sa ating family, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. And hopefully, I'll make a new video for the recent update sa investigation, yung recent statement ni Pangulong Marcos about the investigation. And also, kung meron kayong mga comments, suggestions, at meron kayong mga gustong pag-usapan, don't forget to comment it down below and we'll try to answer it. So maraming salamat po and see you!